Welcome back, everybody, to the Pigskin Blink presented by FantasyFootballToolkit.com as well as 360SportsNetwork.com. I am the Lost Cause, coming again to tell you about fantasy football, about the NFL, about injuries, about sits, starts, studs, duds, sleepers, keepers, and get the hell rid of those kind of guys. That's right, it's a Daily Pigskin Blink. Let's check out our sleepers for this week, for the next coming weeks. We're going to start at quarterback, and we're going to start with Satan, Jay Cutler. That's right, Jay Cutler. He's only owned in about 35% of the public leagues, and you should pick him up for this week. Why? Because they take on the St. Louis Rams at home. The Rams allowed 200-plus passing yards against RG3 in Week 2 and only recorded 1 sack. Now, if Cutler gets time, and if his receivers can catch the ball, he should push about 250-plus yards and 2 touchdowns on the day. Another kind of Satan, except in sunny California, is Carson Palmer of the Oakland Raiders. Only owned in about 50% of the public leagues. It's only 2 weeks in the season, but get this. Carson Palmer is in the top 3 in passing yardage with 670, in attempts for 94, and in completions for 56. The Raiders are going to be airing out the ball a lot, and just like the Bears, they need to catch the ball. If they do, look for Carson Palmer in Week 3 to have 300-plus yards, 3 touchdowns, and probably an INT. For running backs, I'm going to say his name once, and I'm only going to say it once, because this guy is going to get picked up after this week, and that's Darrell Richardson for the St. Louis Rams. A running back, Week 3, they're going to be playing against the Bears. Now, he finished the game in which he came in for Steven Jackson, finished it with 15 carries at 83 yards. That's a great average. It's unclear what his role is going to be for this week, for next week, as far as Jackson. I don't think that there's any sure sign of whether Jackson's going to be 100% or not in these next couple of weeks, but I will tell you this. That kind of an injury is going to come back. He's going to see more playing time, and especially with that kind of production, 6 yards a carry, they're going to fit him more and more into the starting offense. He's not a great threat in Week 3, but if, because of the potential for Jackson actually playing. But if Jackson doesn't play, look for him to get about 100-plus yards and a touchdown. Remember, he does have a couple receptions too, so keep your eyes on that. Now, if Jackson does start, he's only going to get about 45 yards and 1 touchdown this week, maybe no touchdowns at all. But pick him up. He's going to be getting some stuff done. Michael LaShore, Detroit Lions, he's coming off of a 2-game suspension because of, off-season indiscretions, off-the-field kind of stuff. Last season was his rookie season, and he missed the whole thing with an Achilles heel injury. He's going to be coming in fresh. The Lions have already said that this is his starting job, so you're going to see a lot of playing time from him. The Titans allowed more than 150 rushing yards against the Chargers, a team that was led by Brinkley and Battle, who weren't proven, who weren't the number ones by any means. This guy's going to make a big statement this week and in the next coming weeks. Projected this week, 80 yards and a touchdown. I also want to say one more name. I want you to keep this in mind. Pick him up if he's there. Sean Drawn from Kansas City. Please do. I want to talk about the 3-headed giant real quick too, since I touched on it for the Chargers. Ronnie Brown, Brinkley, and Battle. Ronnie Brown came in, wasn't looking all that great. Brinkley came in, was getting some stuff done, was getting some yardage in, a lot of attempts. Then you had Battle. Battle just seemed like a bruiser. If I were picking up anybody, of course, it's going to be Battle first because he's shown that he can score the touchdowns and he can get the hard yardage. Brinkley would be next just because of pure yardage, and then it would be Brown. So, I was asked about Ronnie Brown and asked about Brinkley this week. I'd stay away from Brown and Brinkley right now. Battle would be the pickup. If you have a deep kind of league, and I'm talking about like 60-year-old hooker kind of deep league, I would pick up Curtis Brinkley if Battle isn't available. For wide receivers, Danny Amendola from the St. Louis Rams, only owned in 50% of leagues, and yet the guy leads the NFL with 20 receptions and is second in targets and yardage with 28 looks and 230 yards after just 2 weeks. In points per reception format, this guy is just complete gold. And even if he's not, he has number 2 receiver on fantasy teams, on a 10-team fantasy league, written all over him. If he's there, pick him up. You know why? Because at the end of this week, he's going to have 90-plus yards and a touchdown. Brandon LaFell from the Carolina Panthers is another pickup, and he's only owned in 33% of public leagues. He received the most targets and was on the field for the most snaps of any Carolina Panther receiver in Week 2. On the year, LaFell has 9 receptions and 155 yards and a touchdown. I think he's going to keep that average going. He's going to grab 75-plus yards, and I'm going to say it, screw it. He's going to get a touchdown too. Guaranteed. Kenny Britt, Tennessee Titans. He was suspended Week 1, comes back Week 2. Only gets 19 snaps, only gets 1 reception of 5 yards. You know what that means for you? Well, if you had him, it means that you're, SOL. What does it mean for you in Week 3? It means that he's available in about, only 90% of fantasy leagues. As the season goes on, he's going to see more looks, he's going to get more receptions, and he's going to get more touchdowns. He's probably going to finish the year with probably about 6 or 7 touchdowns, which is good for every other week, plus the yardage that he gets, including this week, which is going to be 65 yards plus, as well as a touchdown. I also want you to keep your ears out, your ears open, your eyes open, everything open except for your wallets for Jeremy Curley from the Jets. I think that this kid is going to slowly develop more and more, and he's going to get picked up off the waiver wire quicker and quicker as the season goes on. That's it from my look at fantasy sleepers for this early part of the season, this week as well as the next coming weeks. You can check out this broadcast as well as every other broadcast at fantasyfootballtoolkit.com as well as 360sportsnetwork.com. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, anything under the sun that you want to send me, you can send them over to lostcause@fantasyfootballtoolkit.com. And for the best in local sports as well as national sports, professional, college, Olympics, racing, NFL, MLB, NHL, NBA, everything underneath the sun, because it's a site run for the fans, by the fans. Head on over to 360 Sports Network, and that is at 360sportsnetwork.com. That's it for me, everybody. Take it easy and enjoy your hump day.